When you think about Japan, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's this image of a society that's, well, almost perfect. We're talking spotless streets, crazy levels of safety, and a culture where everything just seems to run like clockwork. But today, we're going to peel back those layers. We'll look at that polished ideal we all know, and then we're going to explore the much more complex reality hiding just underneath. Yeah, I am so jealous. This is something you hear all the time from visitors to Japan, and it just perfectly captures that feeling, right? It's this genuine envy for the harmony, the efficiency, the sheer order of it all. But what is it about this society that makes people feel that way? And what might be lurking just out of sight? Okay, before we really dive in, I want to introduce a concept that's going to be our guiding metaphor here. It's called kintsugi, or golden joinery. It's this incredible art of fixing broken pottery. But here's the thing. Instead of hiding the cracks, they highlight them with gold. The idea is that the breakage and the repair are part of the object's story, making it more beautiful. So keep that in mind as we go. This idea of finding beauty in the cracks. All right, first up, let's talk about that polished surface. What are the things that make so many of us look at Japan and just feel that sense of awe, that envy? Let's break down the pillars of its amazing reputation. Talk to anyone who's visited Japan and you are going to hear this list, or something very close to it. The safety is just on another level. The streets are unbelievably clean. People are so polite. The trains are always on time. Oh, and the food? It's world-class and somehow doesn't break the bank. It really paints a picture of a society that has its act together. I mean, just listen to this story. It perfectly captures that safety point. This isn't some dry statistic. This is a real experience that sounds, well, it sounds impossible. Can you imagine this happening in any other major city? Sleeping on a busy sidewalk with your wallet just sitting on your lap, and you wake up to find that strangers have left you bottles of water? It's the kind of story that sounds like a modern myth. So how does a society get like this? I mean, it doesn't just happen by magic, right? This incredible sense of order is built on a really deep cultural foundation, with ideas and principles that are taught from the moment you're born. Let's dig into some of those core concepts. At the very heart of so much of it is this one word, motenai. It's often translated as waste not, want not, but that doesn't even come close. It's a deep, almost gut-level feeling of regret about wasting anything: food, time, resources, even your own potential. And this single idea shapes everything from how clean the public spaces are to a sense of personal duty. And if you want to see motenai in action, look no further than Japanese schools. See, most schools there don't have janitors. The students clean everything themselves: their classrooms, the hallways, even the bathrooms. Every single day, they learn to respect their surroundings, they learn the value of hard work, and they learn to work as a team. It teaches a really powerful lesson. This space is our space, and it's our shared job to care for. And that brings us to a huge philosophical difference in their education system. For the first few years of school, before they even get formal exams, the main goal is building character. It's not about who's the smartest kid in the room, it's about raising good, moral, empathetic people. That's the real curriculum. And this is the result. This story from the devastating 2011 earthquake it's breathtaking. A 9-year-old kid who's been through this horrible trauma gets a piece of food, and his first thought is to give it away because someone else might need it more. It's just a profound example of that sense of community they work so hard to build. Okay, so we've seen this collective mindset. Now let's look at how it plays out in how people treat each other. You've probably heard the word omotenashi, and it's usually translated as hospitality. But trust me, it goes so much deeper than that. This chart does a great job of breaking it down. So service is just a transaction, right? Hospitality is being a good, generous host. But omotenashi is a whole other level. It's about anticipating what someone needs before they even know they need it. It's not about following a script, it's about reading the situation, sensing what would make someone more comfortable, and just doing it. A perfect real-world example is the legendary Kagaya Ryokan, a traditional inn. It's famous for its omotenashi. The staff there are trained to observe and to feel out what their guests might need. They try to create this totally seamless experience where you feel completely cared for without you ever having to ask for a single thing. And here's the secret sauce, straight from the master herself. The landlady of Kagaya says it's not a manual, it's a mindset. It's about empathy and using your own initiative to figure out how to make someone feel truly, deeply welcome. It's really an art form. Okay, so far we've painted a pretty incredible picture, haven't we? It's orderly, it's caring, it's respectful, but remember our kintsugi pot? A beautiful surface can sometimes hide some pretty deep cracks. And now we have to ask a really tough question. What is the price for all of this social harmony? Is there a downside? Because to maintain this level of conformity, this level of order, well, it usually requires a huge amount of pressure. And that pressure has to go somewhere. This quote really gets to the heart of it. In Japan, the group is almost always prioritized over the individual. There's this constant, unspoken pressure to fit in, to not cause waves, to not break the rules. It can feel like you're being watched all the time, not by the government, but by everyone around you. And this is where the story starts to get a lot darker. This is a claim from an online discussion, and it suggests that those famously low crime rates might not be telling the whole truth. The allegation is that the pressure to keep up appearances is so intense that when a crime is hard to solve, it might get reclassified to keep the statistics looking good. Now, before you dismiss that as just an internet rumor, look at this number, 81,000. That's how many crimes the police in just one city, Osaka, admitted they failed to report over a 4-year period. It was a massive scandal, and it proved that the official numbers we see aren't always the complete picture. And what's more, other sources suggest that some of the most serious crimes, like sexual assault, are systematically underreported. Victims might be met with skepticism or even be discouraged from filing a report because it would, disrupt the harmony. This really starts to chip away at that reputation for being one of the safest places on Earth, especially for women. So now we have these two totally different pictures of Japan. One is serene, orderly, and caring. The other is full of intense pressure and hidden problems. How in the world do we put those two things together? Well, let's try to reassemble the pieces, kintsugi style. This image says it all, doesn't it? On the one hand, you have the beautiful result, the perfect harmony of a place like Kagaya. And on the other, you have the force that keeps it all in line, the intense fear of social punishment, of being cast out of the group if you step out of line. The perfection and the pressure, they seem to be two sides of the exact same coin. And what this all seems to point to is that for every one of Japan's most celebrated traits, there might be a shadow side, a cost. That incredible safety might be connected to unreported crime. The social harmony might require crushing pressure to conform, and that amazing collective spirit might come at the price of individual freedom. You can't have one without the other. Which brings us right back to our kintsugi pot. Japan isn't a perfect, flawless object. It has cracks. The real question isn't whether the cracks exist, but how we look at them. Is it better to pretend everything is perfect and maintain that polished surface at all costs? Or is there a different kind of beauty, a different kind of strength in acknowledging the fractures? Is the polish worth the pressure? That's the question.